Hi, this is Munson with Munson Music, and we're going to talk about a really easy way that you could strum through Nothing Else Matters by Metallica. And there are lots of really good guitar tabs if you're interested in a lot of the licks. Actually, we're going to talk about an easy fingerstyle version later on. But if you're really interested in playing it exactly like Metallica, you need to probably find another video. But we're going to start out on an E minor chord for our intro. And the way you play E minor, first finger is going to go to the A string on the second fret. Second finger is going to go to the D string on the second fret. If you strum all those together, that sounds like E minor chord. It sounds really, really sad. You probably recognize that arpeggio where that chord kind of gets broken up at the very beginning, and you may want to kind of throw that in. So I'm kind of going open E, and then G, B, E, B, G. It's kind of an arpeggio or a broken chord around the E minor. But then from the E minor, we keep the E minor kind of going for our intro. And then from the E minor, we're going to be going to an A minor chord. When we play A minor, first finger is going to go to the B string on the first fret. The second finger is going to go to the D string on the second fret. The third finger is going to go to the G string on the second fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds an A minor chord, and it sounds really, really sad. And then from the A minor, we're going to be going to a C major chord. And when you play C major, first finger is going to actually stay on the B string first fret. The second finger is going to go to the D string on the second fret. And the third finger is going to go to the A string on the third fret. And if you kind of strum just the A string to the high E string, that'll get you your clearest sound with that. It's called C major, and it sounds really happy. And then from the C major, we're going to go into a D major chord. And the way you play D major, first finger is going to go to the G string on the second fret. The second finger is going to go to the high E string on the second fret. And the third finger is going to go to the B string on the third fret. And if you kind of strum just the D, G, B, and E, kind of the skinny four strings, that sounds a D major chord, and it sounds really, really happy. And then from the D major on our intro, we go back to our E minor chord and kind of end off with our E minor. Now the weird thing about the strumming through the tune, and I know a lot of this is actually fingerstyle, but it's working off of something called a 6/8 time, okay? It's kind of like a compound meter. You're going to kind of feel things in threes is what that means. So you can kind of take E minor actually, and one of my favorite 3/4 patterns is down, down, up, which actually will kind of work that through the tune. So if we tried that a lot on the E minor, we have down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, feel that in 6, and actually there's only a couple places actually where we're going to have to feel it in 3. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the weird thing about applying that to our intro actually is there's one E minor chord where there's a cool lick. And so we end up doing just a down, down, up on one E minor before we go into the A minor. So we tried our intro with our strum pattern. We have E minor with down, down, up, down, E minor, down, down, up, down, E minor, down, 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 down. And we got E minor with down, down, up, down, E minor with down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, E minor, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, C down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, B down, down, up, down, down, up, down, E minor, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, E minor. There we're going to be going into our verse form, and on our verse we start on E minor, and then we go to a D major, and then a C major, and then we go back to E minor, and then we do another D, and then we do a C major, and then we go back to E minor, but then we go to a D major, and then a C major, but then we go to a G major chord. And when we play G major, first finger is going to go to the A string on the second fret, the second finger on the low E string on the third fret, and third finger on the high E string on the third fret. And if you strum all those together, that sounds a G major chord, and it sounds really, really happy. And then from the G major, we're going to be going to a B7 chord, or B dominant 7. It's a really nasty chord. And the way you play B7, first finger is going to go to the D on the first fret, second finger on the A string on the second fret, third finger on the G string on the second fret, and the pinky on the high E string on the second fret. And if you strum just the A string to the high E string, that sounds a B7 chord. It sounds really, really nasty. And then from the B7, we go back to E minor, and then we do another E minor. And we're basically going to be repeating that for our verses. So the weird part is, through the verses, our D and our C kind of half. So when we get to our Ds and Cs, we're doing just down, down, up, down on each of those chords. And actually we do that same thing when we hit that G and the B7 at the very end. So we tried our verse with our strum pattern. We have E minor with a down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, D down, down, up, down, C down, down, up, down, E minor, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, D down, down, up, down, C down. chorus part. And on our chorus, actually, the verse right before the chorus, actually, you'll kind of cheat that last E minor. Actually, well, from the G, you'd have kind of the G, down, up, down, B7, down, down, up, down, E minor, down, down, up, down, 1, 2, 3. And then we go into a big push on a C major chord. And then we go to an A major chord. And when we play A major, first finger goes to the D string on the 2nd fret, the second finger on the G string on the 2nd fret, and the third finger on the B string on the 2nd fret. And if you strum all of those together, that sounds like A major chord, and it sounds really, really happy. And then from the A, we go to a D major chord, and then we kind of repeat that. We got C, A, D, and then at the end, we kind of do a C, A, D, and then we go back to the E minor. Actually, that last D is kind of going to end up halving on just the down, down, and down. So there's a couple ways you could do this. Actually, you could just make those C's and A's just big downs, but they do match into kind of our down, down, up if you were going to kind of work it that way. So if we tried it with kind of our strum pattern through our chorus, we'd have C with a down, down, up, A, down, down, up, down, B, down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, C, down, down, up, down, A, down, down, up, down, B, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, C, down, down, up, down, A, down. Then we go into kind of an instrumental part actually right after that first chorus that's very much like our verses. Now something else that I would think about adding to the song though is bass notes. And a lot of times on that first down of the down up, or even kind of you can even make it a down or a bass down up kind of idea through the tune. Or what can feel pretty good too is kind of doing a bass down up, and then kind of riding it out with the down up. Or something else you can do is kind of a bass note on the low E string and then kind of find another bass note in the chord to kind of alternate in between. So this is going to start sounding like a country waltz at some point. But you may want to kind of play around with kind of adding basses. So on the E minor, you've got a low E string that would be your bass note through the song. So E minor, low E bass, down, low E bass, down. On your D chord, you have the D string for your bass. On the C, you've got an A string for your bass. And then on the A minor from our intro, actually, you have the A string for your bass. And then on the G chord, you have the low E string for your bass. On the B7, you'd have the A string for the bass. On the A major, you've got an A string for your bass. So we could kind of try that instrumental part, kind of try and playing around with adding basses. So it's very much like our verse. We got E minor with the low E bass, down, 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 B with the D bass, C with an A bass, E minor with the low E bass, D with a D bass, C with an A bass, E minor with the low E bass, D with a D bass, C with an A bass, G with the low E bass, B7 with an A bass, E minor with the low E bass. But then right from there, then we kind of go back into kind of our chorus part. So we tried our chorus with our basses. We'd have kind of the C with an A bass, A with an A bass, D with a D bass, C with an A bass, A with an A bass, D with a D bass, C with an A bass, A with an A bass, D with a D bass, E minor with the low E bass, E minor with the low E bass. And then right after that, then we go into kind of our first solo. And on the solo part, actually, you can kind of work that just down, down, up if you wanted to. And then you have E minor with the down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, down, A minor, C, D, E minor, E minor. Or you could kind of try adding in the basses, and you have an E minor with low E bass, A minor with an A bass, C with an A bass, D with a D bass, E minor with low E bass, E minor with low E bass. And then from there, then we'd be going into our verse part. Now something else that kind of occurs to me, and actually this could be very, very cool if you're kind of interested in doing the fingerstyle and kind of wanting to warm up to play the real version, right? Is you could kind of take it and try fingerstyle. So you could kind of make your thumb your bass player. And then the main arpeggio, actually from the beginning, that intro part, you kind of line up the index finger on the G string, middle finger goes to the B string, and the ring finger goes to the high E string. So you could kind of basically work it as kind of a thumb, index, middle, ring, and then middle, and then index as a fingerstyle. So you're going thumb, index, middle, ring, middle, index, kind of division of labor. Your thumb's your bass player, index job is to play G string, middle finger's job is to play B, ring finger's job is to play the high E string. And you may want to just warm up with that a lot, actually. I mean, that is the beginning arpeggio: bass, index, middle, ring, middle, index, bass, index, middle, ring, middle, index. And sometimes when you're doing fingerstyle like this, we use classical guitar abbreviations for the fingers. So your thumb is pulgar, because Spanish people wrote guitar methods in the 1700s. And your index finger is I for indeso, middle finger is M for medio, and the ring finger is A for angular. And if you were going to use the pinky, you would use he would be chica, he would be little, so C. So it's Pimac, P-I-M-A-C, if I start thinking fingers abbreviations. So you may want to think about that arpeggio as kind of a P-I-M-A-M-I-P, I-M-A-M-I kind of pattern with the right hand. So if we tried that through our verse, then the weird part is on the D chord and the C chord, actually, that E minor kind of pattern is taking up our 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, E minor. So on the D and the C chord, or the halving chords that we have through the tune, we have to kind of halve that. And one way to do that would kind of be doing kind of a bass, index, middle, ring. I'm kind of cheating that a little bit. I'm kind of rushing my index and middle, or kind of where the faster notes are. So you may want to kind of think about using that kind of thumb, index, middle, ring as kind of a quick 3 idea. 1, 2, and 3, 1, 2, and 3. So it's lasting for the 3. It's just index, middle, a little quicker. And so on the C chord, you have the A for the bass, and we'll end up having to kind of half that. And then on our G chord, we'd have the low E string for the bass. And then on the B7, we'd have the A string for the bass. And then when you get back to the E minor, then you kind of can go back to that 4, or the 6. Idea 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if we tried that through our verse, we'd have E minor, D with the thumb, index, middle, ring, C, E minor, D, C, E minor, D, C, G, B7, E minor. Not exactly what gets played for that, but it could be a good way to kind of start doing that. So if we try that through the next part of that verse, the weird part is we end up kind of doing just that 1 E minor to kind of lead into our chorus part. So the D, C, E minor, D, C, G, B7, E minor. But then we go right into kind of our push and our chorus. And through the chorus, you could kind of use those same arpeggios, actually, if you wanted to. If you wanted to make it just a fingerstyle thing all the way through, it can sound cool to kind of lead off and then kind of work it into your strumming, which sounds a little bit more like the recording. But for a solo piece, this could be very cool fingerstyle. So if we tried it that way, you'd have C, A, D, C, so we tried it that way through our chorus. We'd have C, A, D, C, A, D, C, A, D. In this particular chorus, actually, we go back to that C, A, D, one extra time before we do the C, A, D, E minor, E minor. And then from there, then we kind of get into our next solo. And actually, our next solo is working around our verse form too. So if we kind of kept that going, you have E minor, D, C, E minor, D, C, E minor, D, C, G, B7, and then there's kind of this big hit on E minor. And then we kind of go back in on our verse part, so we can actually kind of keep that going. D, C, E minor, or you might want to just kind of vamp on that E minor arpeggio if you wanted to too. That would be a cool way to do it. D, C, G, B7, E minor, E minor. And then our outro, actually, we kind of keep that going on the E minor, actually. Although there is kind of a 3 on the E minor, which this is kind of weird, actually, through the intro, actually. If you were going to apply this to the intro, on the outro, really, it's just the E minor vamp. But it's kind of weird because you've got kind of a 6-6-3, 6-6 idea going on. So you kind of E minor, E minor, E minor, E minor. So it's a little weird because you kind of cheated a little bit if you were kind of applying that fingerstyle pattern to it. If we tried that through our intro too, just as an aside, you kind of had that E minor, E minor, but then we'd have to half an E minor, and then the A minor chord, A minor, C, D. So you'd have a lot of more of the 6s in the E minor. So you may want to think about kind of using that idea for the intro too. But that's the basics of how you could strum through and kind of easily fingerstyle through Nothing Else Matters by Metallica. So good luck!